Hi guys, so here we are with the first project for this year. We're going to be doing, as I said, this base for these characters from the Fellowship of the Ring. So what I'm going to do is I've undercoated it in black. I've used the Vallejo black surface primer, which I think is quite a good product. So we'll see how this goes. So the first one, sorry, just moved the camera there. First one I'm going to use is I'm going to paint all the gravel bits here, all around it. I've decided that I'm going to use the old Chardon Granite foundation paint. So this is the one we're going to use. Hopefully that's going to give us a good coverage for the base. It's quite a browny grey sort of colour. So we'll just get some of that in the palette and we'll see how we go. It is actually clean water in my pot. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera here, but it looks a bit dirty, but that's the actual pot and not the water. So always use clean water if you can. So we're going to get it down to a nice runny consistency. Give us a good even coat with that, and then we'll just start. And it's really just a matter at this stage of just covering everything and making sure you've got a good even coverage over all your miniature or base or whatever you want to call it. In which case we'll call it a model for now, but it's literally just a base. So this is what we do. We just, as you can see, it's giving quite a good coverage at the moment, and we're going to go and paint the whole of this base in this Chardon Granite. So that's what I'm going to do, and as you can see, it's going on quite well, and it's going to give it a nice finish, a nice base to start from, and then we can build it up from there with colours as we go along, just to see what it needs really. I've never done anything like this before, a base of this sort of size, especially one that's been moulded. Normally my bases are all ones that I've made myself, so to actually take someone else's ideas and play around with it, I think it's going to be quite fun. So there we go. We're just playing around and seeing how it goes. Hope you all had a good Christmas, and hopefully at some point in the not too distant future I'll be showing you what I got for Christmas. My to me from me present, you might say. And quite happy about that. I've been playing around with it for a little while, but before I do the big unveiling, I wanted to just play around with it and make sure that it was what I wanted, and getting used to it, of course. So big surprises there. I've mentioned it a couple of times to different people when I've been on posting comments and the like, but we'll see how it goes, and I hope I'm going to be able to use it and show you guys what I've been doing. But this is the time-consuming job at the moment. It's going to be just getting all these bits and pieces. There's loads of detail on this base. I can't, picking out all there's like wooden axes, and there's some planks of wood and bits and pieces in here. So just going to grab some more paint. But there's loads of stuff on these bases that's it looks really cool. So which is why I decided this would be a good one to start me getting back into making sure all those old bits and pieces that I've got laying around are going to actually be painted, because that's my New Year's resolution. And I don't think the missus actually likes all my stuff being around. Not sure what I'm going to do with this once it's painted, because I don't actually play Lord of the Rings, but we'll see. You never know, it might inspire me to get involved with it, or I may just put it up for sale. Who knows? See what you guys think at the end of it. But yeah, so all we're literally doing, it's really easy, this part. It's just going round and making sure all these little bits and pieces are covered, because they're the bits that we're interested in. And it is there's some nice little touches on here, I must admit. Some of the stuff I really like. They've even got a dwarf skeleton on here, which you can see just down here. One of Balin's comrades, killed in battle by the goblins of Moira when they invaded his kingdom. Or so I've been led to believe. You may be able to tell me different. I remember this part of the film and I thought this was pretty good. And they were on over Christmas, of course, with The Hobbit coming out, which I haven't seen yet, and I'm really wanting to go and see it. It's just a matter of finding the time, and we'll see how that goes. But the kids want to go and see other things, so I normally take a back seat, but this time I may put my foot down and say, no, you're going to go and watch this film. That'll make me popular. I don't think. But there we go. So we're about halfway there now. The good thing about this as well is that once you've done half of it, by the time you get to do the other half, the first part of it's going to be dry. So, and we're going to end up picking all these little bits and pieces out as well, so it doesn't matter if you go over it at the moment, but all we're going to do is just pick out all these little bits, and we'll make them all nice and that looks a bit thick actually. So it's just picking all the details out as well, and coming up with a colour scheme as well, which you're happy with. But I wanted to do a slightly browner, dirtier sort of look for the base, which I can build up from to bring out the greys and the black washes and the other types of washes that I'm going to be putting on. But I wanted it to start off with something a bit different, because everyone does grey. All of these bases that I've seen, they've all been bright grey, and it just looks boring. So I want to try and do something a little bit different, and hopefully this brownie colour will achieve that for me. But we'll see. There's going to be a lot of dry brushing on this as well, so it should be fairly quick. But the actual plinth bit as well, I've got a couple of ideas for that. I've seen a couple of people on YouTube have been not necessarily miniature painters, but decorators that have actually been using a marble effect, and it shows you how to do this marble effect. And I was thinking of maybe doing a marble effect around the actual plinth. It might be fun just to try, and as it's not something that I was particularly concerned about painting, I thought this would be a good opportunity to try it, and if it works then I can use it on scenery and bits and pieces that I have been painting up. Some of my 40k scenery that I'm doing at the moment. I didn't get my Armies on Parade board done in time for last year, so I'm going to make some adjustments to what I actually did, and hopefully we can you'll see the fruits of my labour on that one very soon as well, so that'll be ready to go. I look forward to that one. So a bit more paint. It seems to take a lot of my time at the moment, but Christmas put a hold on everything that I did. The run up to Christmas, we've got family all over the country, so getting to see them and dishing out presents and general kids stuff that was going on, I haven't really had a lot of time. Plus there's been some good stuff on the telly that I wanted to watch as well. Thank God for Sky Plus, that's what I say. So there still must be about 4 hours of stuff on the planner that I want to watch. But we'll see. Well, there you go guys, it's all done now, all painted. Sorry for the skip in the video there, but yeah, it's not quite dry yet, so I'm going to leave it, and what we're going to do is come back to it when it's dry, and then we'll see about putting some washes and stuff on it, and we'll take it from there. So that's the first one, that's the charred and granite base coat on, and then we've got to look at doing some washes, doing some dry brushing, and then we've got to pick all the details out. Okay guys, welcome back. What you've got here is the base. We put the charred and granite on as a base coat. Next what we're going to do is we're going to give it a wash, and I'm going to use a wash that I've made up myself. I've just put it into a little dropper bottle like this, and I made it up using matte medium, which was 50% matte medium. I then used some artist ink, water-based artist ink, which was a black one. I used 40 drops of that. It comes with a little dropper top, so you can measure out your drops into it, and topped it up with distilled water. So this is the wash that I've made, because I can't get Badab Black anymore, and I really like that wash, so I experimented and made my own, and I'm quite happy with this. So what we're going to do now is use this wash, just shake it up. I put it into a little 30ml dropper bottle, so you just shake the wash up, make sure that it's all a uniform colour throughout the dropper bottle, and then just pour some into the palette, and all we're going to do is just go round it and drop some of the wash, just go over, and hopefully this is going to get into all the cracks and crevices, and it's going to give us a nice look. It's going to darken that charred and granite down, get it all into over these, so it gives some nice shading, and that's all we're going to do. That's the next step, really easy, and And that's it really. So I'll get on, do this. It's going to take quite a while for this wash to dry, so I'll get back to you when that's dry. See you later, guys. Okay guys, so now we've got the black wash is now dried over the charred and granite. So now we're going to take Zandri dust. As you see, I've put all my paints in dropper bottles now, as I'm going along. I just find it makes it easier to measure out my paint. So I'm going to take some of the Zandri dust onto a large dry brush, take most of the paint off, and what we're going to do is just go over it. Just go over all what we've done quite heavily. And when we've done that, as you can see, it's rather quick, which is what I like. It's still the charred and granite showing through. And if it goes over anything that we don't want it to go over, then we can always pick it out later. But that's what we're trying to do, as you can see, is just highlight some of the stuff that we've got going on here. So quite a heavy dry brush. We want to try not to get too many brush strokes. Maybe a little bit too much of the paint was on the brush at the start, but hey, it'll all work out in the end, and we'll have a nice finish to this.